I'm sure we have all made photographs that speak to us in some way and have done so for years. They don't necessarily have to be perceived as a photographic triumph, but have personal significance that stands the test of time. Just how significant probably wasn't apparent at the moment that you pressed the shutter button, or even once you'd had it printed and hanging on your wall with pride. It's only when viewed within the context of everything that's happened since that you might fully appreciate just how much past work has helped to shape the photographer that you are today. All you need to do is take the time to reflect, put pen to paper, and you'll be amazed at what might effortlessly spill onto the page. I was recently trying to write a blog post about a productive day of woodland photography, but I spent most of the time just staring at the screen, unable to find the right words to accompany the photographs I made that day. No amount of espresso or cake made any difference. So instead, I decided to share an old photograph on social media. The photo is called The Dysfunctional Family, an image from December 2016, which I'm guessing many of you will recognise. As soon as I started to write about the photo on Instagram, the words poured out and it hit me just how notable the photograph is. I've always loved it, but when you take a moment to write, everything becomes so much clearer. It's cathartic. It creates a conscious awareness which can be enlightening and help pave the way for new ideas. I never did publish the post. Instead, I'd like to repeat what I wrote about the dysfunctional family in the hope that you'll also find benefit from going through the same process. Here's a quote by Dale Rex Coleman that's in my book. "The charm of a woodland road lies not only in its beauty, but in anticipation. Around each bend may be a discovery, an adventure." The sense of adventure and anticipation, no matter how small, cannot be underestimated. The preoccupation and excitement that it brings is truly addictive, and it remains to be the aspect of woodland photography that I probably enjoy the most. I first discovered Valley Stories in March 2016, a scene which instantly captured my imagination and encouraged me to explore further until finding the dysfunctional family in the same woodland a month later. Winding my way through the trees, allowing my instinct to guide me was the best kind of escapism, a constant and varied stimulus, soft fascination with everything around me, until I might stumble upon a wonderful scene which has probably never been photographed before. I was completely unaware of the fact that it would turn out to be one of my most recognisable images, because at that moment, it's just you and the trees. Nothing else matters. I love my local woodlands. Nothing else has come close to helping me both physically and mentally as time with local trees. This particular location was key, not just for rehabilitation, but in my work evolving as a result of observing the seasonal changes and learning to care deeply about the things I love to photograph. 2016 was a year that my woodland photography really gained momentum, and that's thanks in no small part to the woodland where the dysfunctional family once stood. I dedicated a video to this location, which I'll link to at the end of this episode, which is worth watching for the drone footage alone. Surprise, surprise, I've had family troubles which have been damaging in the past, so the title of this image is partly rooted in negativity. But here's the twist. How profoundly wonderful is it that photography puts us in a place where we can process our troubles, express them through creativity, perhaps translate them into something positive, and in doing so makes everything that little bit better. When viewing the dysfunctional family, I'm not reminded of bad times, I'm reminded that in times of anguish, the restorative power of exploring nature is freely available to those that need it. Surely any creative pursuit is about dedication, striving to be the best we can possibly be and seek fulfillment in our passion. Dedication is fueled by motivation, so what's yours? The woodlands that I hold dear aren't there to serve me and my own photographic aspirations, it's the reverse. I strive to do them justice, to communicate my love for them, to inspire a positive relationship with nature, and to do my very best to capture their magic, because that's the best way that I know how to say thank you. When I discover a scene such as the dysfunctional family, then I'm committed to keep returning until the conditions allow the very best characteristics of the scene to shine. I first tried in snow in April 2016, but it was the soft and warming sidelight on a misty morning in December of the same year that sat well with the orange bed of needles, the texture of the bilberry and bark, and the green of the algae. Almost all of my most notable images have been as a result of dedication, not just in time and numerous failed attempts, but being resolute in simply trying to do my very best. The image also serves as a harsh reminder of the fragility of woodland. Spending time with old trees gives a sense of time moving very slowly, a feeling of endurance, but so often I've seen trees fall victim to time, storms, or in this case, man. I wrongly assumed that I would be photographing this family for many years, but the main protagonists were felled in 2020. Unjustly, in my opinion, but it is what it is. It brings us back to dedication. Without the dedication, I may have missed the opportunity entirely. Even if it's on your doorstep, never take nature for granted. The dysfunctional family is also a marker of where many things began. My conscious anthropomorphizing of trees, a location that helped to shape my work, the woodland I chose for my very first YouTube video in December 2016. My life changed dramatically during my time there, from losing my livelihood to finding a new one and enjoying my earliest memories of woodland explorations with Meg. Many of those memories are locked up in the photos, which is why, in my opinion, it's so important to make images which live beyond today's desire for instant gratification. I'm all for living for the moment, but equally, I don't want to jump from one quick win to another. I won't remember some of my images because they've been lucrative, but because they represent something which time will never diminish. I absolutely recommend that you occasionally look back, reminisce and put pen to paper. I had to do a lot of that when creating my book Gathering Time. Maybe you've just hit a creative block recently or have simply lost your fojo. Either way, the cathartic release will undoubtedly inspire a way forward or simply remind you of why photography is so important. The Dysfunctional Family is featured in my book, but it's also available as a limited edition print, but there's only 10 copies left in the edition. There is an opportunity to win an A3 copy along with the last signature edition of my book via an auction on my website, which ends at the end of this month. All profits from the auction will be used to donate trees to Meg's Grove via Trees for Life. If you've not heard of Meg's Grove, it was something that I started in 2018 and it now has almost 2,000 trees. If you'd like to learn more about how it began, then I'll link to the original video at the end of this episode. But thank you very much for watching this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. While you're watching it, I'll probably be in Scotland, hopefully making some new videos and capturing some new images. So yeah, I'll look forward to sharing those when I get back. But until then, thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.